likely. It still can be flex for them just because they have Lone Delphi in the jungle, but I would love to see Eco using that hero. It's just been such a contested pick throughout this series, and it continues to be.
Yeah, I mean, when you can land 3-man impales and follow up with the Githyan Wall, it's always going to be incredibly strong. Pon the original, grabbing that Rhyme very early on into the draft. This is what we saw in draft number 1, and it did not work well for Rogue.
However, in draft number 1, Nova had the Kestrel. So Rogue, feeling like Kestrel was the catalyst, was the linchpin for Nova to win that game. And without the Kestrel on the board, they feel like they're going to be able to take this. They also get the Jewel, which was banned from them in game number 1. So this is Rogue going to be very happy with this draft thus far.
This Jewel is starting to become a significant comfort pick for Hammy. We've seen him pick it up a few times now in the season already.
Yeah, I mean, and composition with Jewel in the lane, weapon power with Rhyme in the jungle, we saw it come out from Rogue in the first weekend, and they won with it. So again, we're going to see it against Nova. There's going to be a lot of pressure coming out both on the lane and on the jungle, just because these heroes can outdo their counterparts in those roles. And so Rogue is going to be able to play what they know how to play. They love playing aggressive, snowballing slowly and closing out the game later on. This is a composition that can do exactly that.
Now Nova have to answer to this one. The double melee coming out. We'll see what their response is. Celeste, a very solid pick, something we've seen a lot of over the course of this season so far. It's got that lance to protect it, and now we'll see what Delphi is going to pick up in this final role.
Yeah, you want to see Delphi get something that can do a little bit of dueling, I think, because right now it's just if Jewel gets onto the backline, gets onto the Celeste, Celeste's just going to get deleted, and Rhyme is going to be able to just be this durable, beefy kind of mage in the jungle, and they don't have anything to really match that. And it's for Nova, they have a bit of burst, they have that late game power in the Celeste, but if they can't find control, they're going to take the Arden, which means they are going to have that Lance be in the jungle. So it is that and not so much a duelist, but a little bit of that bruiser type style to complement the rest of this composition.
And it's going to be able to provide a lot of protection for Celeste, both with the Githyan Walls, the Impales, and now they have the Vanguards and the Gauntlet landing from the Arden pick for Eco. I mentioned earlier that it can be flexed, and they do choose to go for the flex. The only thing about it is that Rhyme can shut down the Lance early on just because it's a melee matchup, although Lance has a little bit of range even though he's melee, so it can be outplayed, and Delphi can hold off against Spawn if he uses that bit of range advantage that he has, and then Githyan walls Rhyme away whenever he gets closer. The last pick coming out of Rogue, they don't have too many options, but Grace is still open. That would be a great pickup for them since they want to dive on Celeste and try to finish her off. Let's see if they go for it.
Also, something like a Lyra could be great going into an Arden, gets the portal on in, gets you that hard engage, but also you can dodge that gauntlet coming on out. They are going to go with the Lyra in the end, so this is a very aggressive composition coming out from Rogue. They are going to want to dive very deep, and a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Truth here to carry on this Celeste.
Yeah, this is something that Nova has done before, have put their eggs in this Truth basket, similar to like a G2 with Hundor, but Truth is one of these players that can step up to that task, just like Hundor does in Europe.
I certainly can. What are you expecting to see here, Zara?
I really think it can go either way. Rogue getting the composition that they've played before and know how to execute is really good for them. It's playing to their strengths. At the same time, though, Nova has a really strong composition that's built around Truth, which is another really good strategy that works for them. It can go either way.
All right, we'll see which way it is going to go. We want to know where you think this one's going to go as well. Hashtag Vainglory. Let us know whether you believe in Nova or if you want Rogue to take this one. It's game number 3. It's time to get onto the map, and it's time to pass it back to Humanist and Sean Ostino.
Well, thank you very much, Munchbles, and that's right. We've got game 3, Nova versus Rogue here. And Sean Ostino, I'm looking at this one, and I'm thinking hashtag Rogue.
Hashtag Rogue? I don't know. It could be a hashtag Rogue because we do have that Jewel who's super strong. Once she gets to her late game power, or level 8 power spike, she's going to be able to crit off those Thunderstrucks. We've been talking about that a lot, Humanist. And she's just such a strong character, especially with her heroic perk, that heavy plating that she's got. And if we look over here at the side of Nova, they have a very specific win condition, which is they've got to protect Truth. Truth has got to blow up the other team with those Heliogenesis Supernovas in, and her ultimates as well.
Well, the thing that's kind of crazy here, and Delphi typically usually builds pretty substantial weapon power. Now, we're going to have to really keep our eyes on this Lance. He can have a huge impact. I would expect a couple double kills to come out of Lone Delphi by the time this game's over. Thunderstrike hits onto 2. Nova respecting the damage from Rogue. Rogue are going to go ahead and reposition into their Tri-Brush. This is a game of Elder Treants now. Let's see how this is going to play out. Thunderstrikes come through. This is actually going to go the way of Nova. Lone Delphi able to pick that one up. So it's going to be great for Nova. They alt board back. Immediately just going to grab one item real quick and get back out onto the map.
Yeah, and Lone Delphi actually picked up some pretty good items there. He's got himself some 1 boots. He's got that 6 sins. He's going to be able to do some more damage out there in the jungle. Very smart for this Lance. If he lands some impales, Githian walls, that's really going to help to stun up the members of Rogue.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if he can get a good one off as well, like, it's really troll when Hammy jumps forward and gets Githian wall stunned. And, yeah, it can feel pretty much useless at this point. But the thing is, we were talking about it, there is so much control and burst potential. If they can get onto Truth, maybe an Arcane Passage, whatever, Hammy will be able to burst the Celeste down.
Yeah, I like what you said, actually, about this Lance that Lone Delphi has. Because he has that Githian wall, he will be able to get rid of those rocket leaps coming out of Hammy.
They're fighting with the Elder Treant. Pawn's able to secure that one with Winter Spire. They're now moving forward. Rocket Leap down. Truth dropping low. Truth should die here. The hit flask almost keeping him alive. Now Eco splits down to the south as Lone Delphi goes to the north side of this wall here. Kind of splitting Rogue as they hesitate for a second and maybe buying them enough time to actually get back here and get their full backs. Yes, they're able to get those. So a nice job by Nova.
Yeah, nice job by Nova. We actually see the Heavy Prison coming out of Truth. And I like how they're rotating together. Nova doesn't want to get caught out here, and they know they need to protect the Celeste. So, good job for them. A little bit of poke going on here on the Evil.
Yeah, a little bit of poke happening up at the lane, but down in the jungle. Over the wall, Lone Delphi. Too late, bud. Pawn has got your mid. Now Pawn's going to take your fronts as well. Lone Delphi basically has to have really good timing here, or think about just switching up his rotation entirely, because Pawn's just about 1 step ahead here, especially with Evil rotating down, and he had complete control over the Elder Treant if he wanted to go for it, but he's going to let that one go.
You know, the jungle clear can be both quick for Lone Delphi and Pawn the Original, but Pawn the Original is just so aggressive right now, and you wouldn't expect this kind of movement speed to be coming out of Rhyme.
The Elder Treant. Delphi's getting completely trolled out here the whole time. Eco drops that Protector Contract as Pawn just sitting here. He's almost level 10 at 3 minutes. Just kidding, level 5. But he has incredible leveling in this part. Now, man, if he had walked forward, he would have been able to steal the backsway. Delphi will get his backs one more time, so at least Delphi's getting those.
Yeah, he had Winter Spire available to him at that moment too. They actually just left the back regen camp there, and oh man, Pawn the Original just stealing away these jungle camps from under
Pawn is
Delphi.
Absolutely 1 step ahead. Delphi, he's in Delphi's head so deep. Delphi missing the impale from the thick part of the wall right there, and Pawn is going to be getting this level 6 incredibly quickly this game.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be going for Shatter Glass there. He actually picked up an extra crystal bit just for some more of that CP damage. He hit that level 6 Power Spike, so he's got that Valkyrie available for him. We see Eve of Harvest actually picked up for Truth as well. Good Power Spike for her. Not the clockwork, you know, that we're going to be able to see with that energy, regen, and sustain, but this is going to help her sustain a little bit better in lane.
This is pretty crazy. Hammy doesn't even have boots. He's just Sorrow Blade, Book of Eulogies. He's like, I'm going to last hit, I'm going to sustain. If you do any damage, Evil will throw a sigil for me. Give me that move speed and healing that I crave. I mean, honestly, Hammy just apparently doesn't feel threatened at all.
No, pretty smart, man. What we see from Hammy riding in on this Crimson Horse, she's just going to be able to do so much damage. This Jewel here, I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I really am anticipating that level 8 Power Spike.
Delphi lands an Impale onto Pawn. Pawn's going to go ahead and move himself back here. Nice sigil down, of course, from Evil to get him out of a bad situation. Evil going for the Crucible first. There's no surprise here. Players do have their preferences, but do you like it in this game?
I like it in this game because we do have a lot of CC coming out from that Lance, that Lone Delphi Lance, and if someone is getting impaled upon, activate that Crucible, the members of Rogue are going to be able to walk away from it a little bit easier.
A little bit easier indeed. And of course, Pawn also sitting on 1,500 gold at this point. You imagine he's probably going to look to shop here pretty soon. He can do whatever he wants. We've seen our Rhymes go a whole bunch of different ways in their builds. A lot of them, Shatterglass, Eve of Harvest, those kind of builds, but I wouldn't expect him to get too crazy with it.
No, I wouldn't. I'm actually looking at some of the meta builds here for Rhyme. We could actually expect maybe he picked up the Shattered Glass. Eve of Harvest would be good too. Broken Myth's going to be able to have him ramp up a lot of those Broken Myth stacks, a lot of damage. But once he gets into those fights, he's going to be able to sustain so well, nevertheless, because he has that fortified health built into his kit.
I like Hammy rocket leaping into the lane, making sure he gets his last hits there. Truth thought he had shoved the lane far enough forward where he maybe even could get some turret damage out here, but Hammy, nice awareness, nice positioning here now. I feel it's got to be a team fight happening at some point, right? Like, Pawn is ready to fight. Are they going to just wait for Hammy to hit his own power spikes, the level 8 that you talked about?
I think they very could be waiting for that. That's one of the big win conditions that I feel is here for the side of Rogue, because we do have him being the primary initiator, Hammy, on this Jewel. Once he gets that, he's already got Big Red Button. He only needs one more level up, then he's going to be able to hit that power spike. They can really take advantage of it, do some serious crit damage, especially on Truth. They could go ahead and rocket leap in, stun Truth up, and it looks like there's an engage.
Yeah, Pawn used his reflex and his boots to get back. Look at the damage out on the Truth! Oh my goodness! Oh my weapon, Jewel mio mayo! Rockin' Ohio, Rogue come through with the burst damage, 3-0, 7 minutes in. They're probably gonna go for the turret as well. They just turned up.
Hello, my honey. That's exactly what they needed to do. They rocket leaped in, and now they're going to be able to take this turret. Taking out Lone Delphi in Truth was a smart thing to do.
Wow. The burst damage is real. Hammy's only level 7, and as he continues to build his weapon items and can crit on those Thunder Strikes, it's going to be good night Nova, good night Truth, if they cannot keep him alive now. This is contested Gold Miner. It does go the way of Rogue. Nice secure there. Rogue, I mean, they can't play dangerous Vainglory here. But as long as they keep it together, they're doing really well.
Oh, Big Red Button off the mark there. But yeah, really good plays coming out of Hammy here. We actually saw a few minutes ago, we had the gold pretty even, but now it's actually swung almost 3,000 in favor of Rogue.
It's a very big swing in resources and net worth for Rogue at this point. In a composition where they really like to be ahead here, you don't want Celeste to get into a comfortable position in this game. Hammy, now level 8, will be coming through with some crits potentially in these Thunder Strikes. Big damage. 2-0-1, 3,000 gold in his pocket. We'll see how he completes these items. I'd like to see them clear out that scout trap though, down in that brush. The fact that that remains is kind of troll.
Yeah, we actually have scout traps in both the bushes for the jungle shop, and they're clearing that one out.
Portal in, there you go, they're right on top. But look at the core collapse, Truth! Predictive plays! Impossible core collapses coming out of Truth now. He'll start to go ahead and, 400 damage. Hello, this is my Thunder Strike. I'm Hammy, I'm here for your carry. Truth, trying to drop the Helios, but it's just not the same kind of damage that's coming out of this Jewel.
It's not the same kind of damage. We have the Eve of Harvest, the Frostburn on the Celeste, but she needs to get more damage out of it. She's actually working towards potentially a Clockwork next, so that's going to allow her to spam those Heliogenesis even more throughout the fold. Better regen and better energy regen, rather. And that's going to help her out a lot. There's an engage. No, they back off.
I mean, honestly, yeah, it's going to help her sustain and control areas through the fight, but as long as Rogue sees an opening and they pull the trigger and move in as a unit, they will burst the Celeste down. It's all about coordination and execution right now. See the Big Red Button coming through to clear out the laneway from a very safe distance. A nice job. Another core collapse comes through on the Hammy Helio as well. Big damage, you can see. I mean, you have to respect the Helio damage coming out right now. But if Hammy gets on that Celeste, it's game over. Valkyrie comes down, clips just on the edge. Pawn doesn't find the stun, so there's no follow-up.
If Truth is able to use the core collapses in these team fights and just stun up Hammy, focus Hammy down, that's gonna be a win for the side of Nova right there. They just got to keep doing that. And we actually see Hammy is not building any defense at all, not even any shielding. That's not what we would expect coming out of this weapon-powered Jewel. There's that heavy plating. That's her heroic perk. She's going to be able to sustain a little bit better in these team fights because of that. She won't have to buy so much armor or shielding. But later on, we could see her sell off that healing flask and pick up either shielding or armor. I would expect shielding, since we have that Celeste that Truth is holding, to be the primary concern.
You know, I think a lot of these players deserve all the hype they get. I don't think Hammy gets enough of it, though. You know, he's consistently always making plays. I think he's Positioning-wise, great. Mechanical ability. Solar Storm almost coming through and grabbing that. It was really nice timing on that, but Rogue able to secure another gold miner.
Check out the build on Pawn the Original right now. He actually has a lot of shielding right now and a reflex block, so he's not able to get stunned up by those core collapses. He could use that. What he's doing right now feels to me like more of a utilitarian build on this Rhyme, so that he can just be the front line, absorbing a lot of the damage and using his DC with those chill winds to just stun up the members of Nova.
Pawn around the backside. He's going to be right on top of Truth. They throw the sigil forward. Hammy a little bit late to the party. He just switches over onto Lone Delphi. Lone Delphi gets bursted down. Now he's on Truth. 524 damage on that Thunder Strike. Good night, Nova. Rogue taking the ace. 6-0. We're not even 12 minutes in. Thunder striking Nova into oblivion.
Thunder Strike City, Humanist, and they took this turret. They're not going to go for the choke point one, but they're just going to go ahead and rotate through the jungle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. So we actually saw, once that Rocket Leap came in, we had Lance go so low, 396 damage to the back, and the Valkyrie comes down, triple kill. Everybody's dead, and the healing and regen, thanks to that Lyra, was able to sustain them so well for the side of Rogue.
The element of surprise served them well. Look at Evil, one more time, not clearing out the scout trap down in that shot brush. Anybody watching, take note. That's a pretty efficient little scout trap right there. But yeah, Rogue definitely in the driver's seat here in this game. And if Pawn can just walk up right on top of Celeste, right on top of Truth, get all of his abilities off, I think they're going to win probably 9.5 out of 10 of those fights.
We have that scout trap down in there like you were talking about, Humanist. That may very well be the MVP right now for the side of Nova, because we don't see any kills on the board for them. But yeah, Hammy doing so much work here. 5-0-1 on this Jewel. He's got Sora Blade, Tornado Trigger, Tyrant's Monocle, so much crit and attack speed coming out of him. They're just gonna melt right through this gold miner.
Yep, Solar Storm comes on through. Feels not too bad, man, for Rogue. They just tank that up. Truth's gonna have that one on cooldown, another 35 seconds or so. Rogue move forward, they take the mid camp away. And they're just gonna, I think, play this strangulation game as they look to choke whoa, I don't know what happened there. Choke Nova out here. They have the positioning. Would you expect them to get aggressive?
I feel like they need to get aggressive right now. They have the ability to do that. We got the front line here.
There's the passage. Another two-man core collapse. Hammy late to the party, but it's great for him this time as he avoids the stun. Rogue kind of missed their target there, so they'll go ahead and reset. But I like the aggression and the engagement.
In the next minute or so, Humanist, we're going to see the Kraken coming out onto the fold out of that Halcyon well. If there was going to be a team fight that's lost right now, that's going to be a big win for whoever gets it, taking that Kraken.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge win for either team. Rogue definitely have the advantage at this point, but I mean, I could see, potentially just a godly gauntlet from Eco, who almost has to like drop it on top of his opponent's head at this point. Like, he can't trap anybody out or inside because they'll be able to reflex and walk right through. They have the Arcane Passage to use as well. Hammy, Thunder Strikes coming through. Truth, feeling the pain. Hammy, really good positioning in and out of these fights here. Pawn the Original kind of split off down in the tri-brush. Once again, he's just going for their mids. Mr. Take Yo mids. He's got it one more time here.
All your mids now belong to us.
All your mids now belong to us. They're going to go for the gold miner as well right before Kraken will spawn. So the Kraken spawning will definitely be a point of contention.
Yeah, and it's just going to be coming out in a few seconds. Whoa, Solar Storm a little bit late there. We actually see Truth coming online with a pretty good power spike now. This Celeste is working towards that Broken Myth. This is going to be a Celeste to be reckoned with, but we just can't have her get bursted down like she has been in previous team fights.
I mean, Hammy's really going to have to be inaccurate on these Thunder Strikes for Celeste to win this fight, I feel like. He still has his level 11, now level 12 infusion. He just refreshes that. Scout Trap still alive, doing work here.
The MVP Scout Trap.
The MVP Scout Trap. Get the infusions out for the whole team of Rogue, and now they are ready to start capturing this Kraken. We saw before with the Jewel, we'll take these objectives so fast.
So fast. Look, she's already melted halfway through it. And we're just going to see the tanky members well, they're all tanky really, but the tankier members of Rogue just go ahead and frontline distract. Well, there goes the Kraken over to the side of Rogue.
I mean, the weapon Jewel, which just solos this Kraken so easily. Nova had no chance. They're not going to walk like right into a Lyra and a Rhyme, who have all their abilities and items ready to go. So now Rogue move forward. And honestly, if they play this one well, they could just close this game out right here.
In some ways, I feel like Hammy's Jewel is the perfect counter to this Celeste on Truth, because even though we can see the Heliogenesis spammed all over the map, that Rocket Leap can just bypass all those Helios. That Star Field of Mines is not going to do anything to this Jewel.
Yeah, it hasn't thus far, but if he gets clipped with some damage, maybe goes into the fight, you know, 2/3 health or something like that, they could turn it around pretty well. Now, big red button from range. Hammy, gotta be careful. You see the Supernova coming through, doing good damage. Pawn's gonna try and sit at max range and throw a couple Winter Spires while avoiding the Helios there. Arcane Passage in. A nice block on the Cork Labs this time. Githian Wall will go ahead and peel Rogue back, buying enough time for maybe Truth to stay alive. The Vanguard coming through from Eco, just enough. Truth can turn with the Helios. They're able to take down Pawn, the original Kraken, still alive. Hammy was doing really good work there, but they just couldn't find a kill. I mean, honestly, Eco played that so well.
Yeah, feels good, man. If you're Eco right now, throwing down a godly gauntlet like that was able to stun up the members of Rogue and just increase the potential for them to win that team fight. And in a way they did. They actually had to retreat from the base. Rogue is now a little bit on the back foot, so in this particular instance. So that was a good team fight win for Nova right there.
Really good team fight win. Now, let's team fight. It's time to stick together, team. What's the play, Delphi? They're gonna look to potentially lock anyone down. They just want to take this turret and probably make sure they regroup and don't overstep and get engaged upon. It's 20 seconds till Gauntlet's ready to go. Nova definitely looking in a good place.
They're looking in a good place. This is a dangerous game that Rogue is playing right here because we know that once it gets to late game, it's late game now, Celeste is online. She's able to just do so much damage with the Supernovas, Helios, the Solar Storms that are going
Arcane
to be coming
Passage
out.
there in. Good night, Truth! Thunderstrike just deleted him off the map. Rocket Leap over the wall. Hammy says, but you got nowhere to go, bud. Lone Delphi getting crit from over the wall. A big red button takes it down with a big red button. Oh, that doesn't feel good, man.
Just
Eco,
for style points.
yeah, he can pour it out here. But I don't know what he's going to do. Look at Hammy. Moves in. I'll take this turret. 406, 555. Easy Thunder Strikes. Rocket leaping forward. 406, 555, 406, 406, 555. That's all I see, Sean. Rogue are going to come through, take game 3, take this series, and move on to the finals of week 2.
Woo, doggy. What can I say about a weapon power jewel doing so much massive damage here throughout the entire game for the side of Rogue? Well done for them. They played well, they deserve the win. Kudos to them, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in the finals.
Kudos to them, kudos to you. I love Hammy's weapon jewel. I want to know what our analysts have to say about this one. Munchables, take